Okay, excuse me. I'm Mike Caton with Ace Method Coaching, and I'm here to do some live stream hurdle technique review videos. In case you're new here, here's what happens. I have a business called Ace Method Coaching, and at Ace Method Coaching, I'm there to serve hurdlers and hurdle coaches, both who need help. I provide instructional videos, training plans, which I sell a whole lot of both of those. But in addition to that, I also do what I call virtual coaching. Since I can't meet you actually at the track, either an athlete, parent, or coach will send me their videos of the race or practice or whatever, and I'll analyze it, give them feedback back in the form of a video with answers to their questions and suggestions and drills and things like that. It's called a virtual coaching session. It's very popular. But, excuse me, I also get a lot of free requests, and it's one free service that I provide. But what I do is I select 5 videos each week of those that come to me, and I do them live on this live stream. So if you're watching this and you want to know how you can get on this, that's how. Go to acemethodcoaching.com and you'll see how to do it. Okay? Let's see here. I've been on this really ugly page. I should have been somewhere else. But anyway, let me jump right into it. In fact, all you've done is heard my voice talking over that ugly screen. I wasn't paying attention. All right. Here we go. I am doing 5 athletes this week. They are Adams, Jacob, Judah, Tegan, and Yash. Okay? Mostly from the U.S., but not all. Mostly high schoolers, but not all. I'm going to start off with Adams. Adams is going into his sophomore year. He is a second-year hurdler, and he knows that his trail leg is hanging low, but he wants to know what he did wrong. So, let me cue this up real quick. He's actually pretty good. I've watched this a few times. Okay, let me... Okay, so definitely good. I mean, really good. A lot of talent in there. So Adams, I think you are on the way to being a really, really good hurdler. And the fact that you are working so hard, even in the off season, to improve on this tells me you're going to be really great. Okay. So you are right. You do... your trail leg hangs a little bit low, and here's what I mean by that. And by the way, I did a deep dive hurdle technique video just last Sunday, and it was about the trail leg, and I just focused on girls. In the next week or two, I'm going to do one on the boys, but the same thing applies in this phase here, is that if you see this, Adams, and anybody watching this, you see the angle that his trail leg is right here, and you see the bend in his knee, and you see the height that his hips are, or his butt is over the hurdle. Too high. Okay? But the fact that his foot was, he could have gone lower because he had, it looks like about 5 or 6 inches height between your heel and the top of that hurdle. So you could have been lower there. But also the way that his knee hangs low here is making him stay high on the hurdle. Otherwise he'd hit it. So the way to get lower is to get that trail leg out. Let me draw this. Instead of at this angle, get it more at about this angle, and you would have been able to be that much lower over the hurdle, okay? And so you would have touched down on the ground right here, but you still have a few inches to go. And then so coming from that high is really an issue in that you have to now wait for gravity to bring you down, and it messes with your rhythm, and it turns it in, instead of running over a hurdle, it turns it into a jump and land, and so it slows you down a bit. Okay. But other than that, I think you're doing okay. Okay, one more thing, and I will say this, and I have a feeling I'm going to be saying this for years because I'm seeing this more and more common, and it is holding the trail arm out to the side, and even in the front right here, where it should have been behind you. I mean, think about this. When you run, whatever leg is forward, the opposite arm is forward, and whatever leg is back, that opposite arm is back. It's a natural rhythm. Anytime you do anything different than that, it throws you off. So when a person leads with your left leg, they should be having their right arm forward and their left arm back. But more and more people are starting to hold their trail arm forward. I think it's because Grant Holloway holds his like that. I don't think it's the best way to go. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. It doesn't make any logical sense. Somebody tried to tell me a reason. I'm going to have to do some research on what his rationale was, but it just is not natural in balance. And I think that it's going to throw you off. And I see most people when they do this are always, see how he's leaning a little bit over to his left? I think that's one of the main reasons why. Okay? One of the reasons. But it's okay. I mean, if I were your age, I'd probably be emulating Grant Holloway too. So, but I think you're doing great. I would, yes, get that trail leg out more so you can go a little lower. I think you're doing great. You're off to a great start. Okay, Jacob. Okay, so Jacob's interesting. I don't know what year Jacob is, and I don't know what level this is. I'm thinking it's college. No, maybe not. I mean, this is definitely a college. I'm thinking small college. Here's the reason why I say that. But Jacob is telling me 0 experience, no coaching, nothing. And so I initially thought high school, but this is really, really tall hurdle. When I count here 30, 33, 36, 39, I don't know if this is at 42 inches. It must be. So, which is a college height, and it says Georgetown Prep. So I'm guessing it's a prep academy. So it's maybe like you're a freshman in college and you just got thrown right into running an indoor 42-inch hurdle race. And so how can I help you? Let me think here. There's a lot, but I'm trying to think. I don't want to give you too much when you need the foundation. Here's what I would say, because here's what's going on. You're obviously having to put on the brakes majorly because it's terrifying to run and jump over a big metal and wood barrier, metal and plastic barrier like this. So everybody's going to want to jump high so they don't get hurt. But the problem with jumping high like this is you lose all your momentum because you transferred up instead of forward. You end up going higher than you need to because you end up taking the steep angle at the hurdle. And then you're way up here. Look at this. I mean, you are jumping down from 5 or 6 feet up in the air. And then so now you have to wait until you finally come down. And then you've lost all your speed. Gravity's pulling you hard into the ground. You can see the collapse of your leg here. And then you come out of it, but you have no speed because you gave it up on that hurdle. And then you start all over, get back into the next hurdle and do it all over again. Just keeps repeating that. And you see the way your trail leg is underneath you. So think about this. Even though you're 5 feet up in the air, you are still hitting the hurdle because your trail leg is underneath you versus out to the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a copy of my Hurdling 101, which shows you from the beginning, step by step, how you're supposed to move your lead leg, your trail leg, your arms, and everything that you should do so you can get better at this. Because I watched this video and your teammates are having a good laugh at your expense. I hope they admire what you did, but yeah, that was unfortunate. So I'm going to send you this. Hopefully it helps, and we'll go from there. Okay. All right, Judah. So this is an interesting case because I reviewed Judah's video on my last live stream, but Judah sends me his video again along with a new one and basically saying, look, I really want to crack 14. I think I'm really close. I want to know how to get better. I don't know if I didn't give him enough advice last time, but what intrigued me, let me show you Judah's video first. And then I'm going to tell you why I did it twice in a row when I don't usually do this. I mean, Judah's good. Or I should say, Judah, you're good, obviously. So, this is what I liked. Here's Judah at practice. And I'm playing the detective here and thinking, okay, I don't know where this is, but I believe that Judah is part of a club team that's called Velocity. I could be wrong. So it tells me, and he's doing a drill that's really awesome. There's different names for it. I call it a 3-3-5-3. Judah is doing a 3-3-5-3-5-3-5-3. And for those of you who are going, what the heck are you talking about, coach? Here's what I'm talking about. It's a really cool drill where you want to work on your speed. And because think about it, in most cases, people are losing a little speed at each hurdle until they get really good. So they'll do this drill where they'll spread out a few hurdles to where they're at a spacing that will allow you to run 5 steps between the hurdle versus 3. And you might be thinking, what does that do? Well, it gives you 2 extra steps to build up your speed going into the next hurdle. So it's a good way to practice going over a hurdle faster than you normally do. And again, why would I want to do that? Well, because when you can condition your body to be quick over a hurdle because you have more speed, you start improving your nervous system's ability to clear a hurdle, right? And get used to the feeling and the sensation of the hurdles moving at you faster than you're normally used to. Helps with your quick steps. And if you notice, Judah's, I can tell by looking at it that the spacings of these hurdles are also pinched in. So it's forcing him to be quick steps or use quick steps over the hurdle, which is great. Again, these are good because people that make the mistake of always spreading out their hurdles at practice are just conditioning their bodies to run with long, slow strides. But smart hurdlers want to get used to the rhythm of the quick step. And so they pinch them in, so they have to take quick steps. And you'll see that's what's happening here, okay? Let me get this ready for next time, in case I play it again. Okay, so here we go. 8 steps to the first hurdle, then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so hopefully now you understand what I'm talking about. This is a really long version. I mean, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hurdles out if I'm counting properly. A lot of people might just do a 3, 3, 5, 3, which that's what I tend to do. But I might do this in certain situations in the season. And Judah, I am, for anybody watching, I am in the process right now of gathering a whole lot of hurdle video drills. And this is one that I wanted. So I'm going to use this for my needs. That's the whole point of it. When a person is getting my free coaching, in return, I'm able to use these videos. So I'm going to use this. Thank you very much. But let me, in return, I'm going to answer your question because you want to know how to get better. And I do have some things for you. And so everything I went through there was also just some free coaching for everybody out there. Okay, Judah. So I'm going to get, again, I can look at this scene and know a lot of things or assume a lot of things. One is you're good. 2, you are working with some good coaches who know about things like this. I mean, over here they even have the scissor hurdles, and you know, when I see on the field, they got all these coaches out here and they're all videoing stuff. So there's a lot of knowledge out there. So I'm actually a little surprised that you're coming to me for help, but I don't mind it. I like it. But I think I'm going to give you some stuff that you can either go to your coaches with and say, how do I fix this? Or you can show it to your coaches and they can help you figure it. Because I have a feeling they're pretty good. And I'm not there with you at the track. I don't have any history with you. So I'm going to have to make some assumptions. But you can see I do that a lot. So here are some things you definitely need to work on for sure. And then there's some things that are kind of questions. So here's one thing. Let me get you to where you're more side on with the camera. This is an amazing video job. Okay, I think, give me 1 second here. Paranoia setting in. Okay. By the way, if anybody has a question for me right now, feel free to leave it in the chat or the comments, and I'll answer it when I'm done here. But I think that well, you're not doing it here, but you do it sometimes. Sometimes I've seen on some of your hurdles, I think you open up your lead leg a little too soon, right? But here it looks pretty nice. So if you know what I mean by that, what I'm looking for, number one, did the heel come all the way to the butt? The answer is yes, which it tends to do for you. But I think you start to let it loose too soon, because I've seen you at times right here, and maybe you are doing it, but right here where your thigh finally gets to be pointing at the top of the hurdle, ideally your foot is behind your knee. And I can't really tell. It might be straight down or it might be a little in front. If it's in front, that means you opened it up a little too soon. Yeah. See right here? Right here, your thigh is low. And then when you bring it up here, your foot should be farther back. So you need to hold it tucked in there a little longer, like we're talking a fraction of a second. Drive that knee towards the hurdle and then extend that leg out over the hurdle. That's number one. So do some lead leg drills. Number two is yes, that's not a good example right there, but even though, yeah, okay. I don't think you are tucking on your trail leg now. I don't think you're tucking your heel into your butt enough. And you're not holding it there long enough, because when you're right here, I shouldn't see your foot out here. Your foot should be tucked in a little tighter here. And you can see this. It shouldn't look like this. Okay. I'm going to go to this race video because you're going in the other direction. Yeah. See this? You go from here and it should go straight to your butt. And it never did. You swung it around open. Okay? So that also needs to be worked on. So there's two things. Whoop, wrong one. The last thing, and this is the tricky one. When I say tricky, you're going to want to talk to your coaches about this, I think. But let's look at your body's leaning, okay? It's not obvious. So here you are coming over the hurdle, and watch yourself already prepping your body to lean over to the left. Watch this. See that? Boom. Leaning to the left, leaning to the left, leaning to the left. Like you're leaning into that lead leg. Don't get me wrong, some of that happens on everybody, but you want to lean forward. You don't want to lean, obviously you are leaning forward, but you don't want to lean to the side so hard. But you know what? I think it's because of your trail leg. I really do. I think I answered my question. Also, your arms are too tight. I mean, too opened up. Yeah, I think that might be why. You need to focus on keeping hips forward, shoulders forward. Don't let anything cross over. Don't lean, and keep, like I said, tighter lead leg, tighter trail leg, and I think you'll do better. Okay? All right. I would love to hear back from you. So moving on, Tegan. So Tegan is my second collegiate of the day. Been hurdling for 6 years. So hurdled through, I'm assuming, hurdled through high school, now hurdling in college. But 3 years ago, switched from just focusing on the 400 hurdles to the 110 meter hurdles. And then just want some general help on how to get faster. So, doing really well overall. Fortunately sent me a couple of angles here, which is always helpful because it paints a bigger picture or better picture. Come on, come on. Okay, let me cue this up. Okay, so like I said, overall, really good. But you're obviously a good athlete, good hurdler. I'm going to break it down. Good first step, Good second step. Good third step. Fourth step. Fifth step. Sixth step. 7. A bit of a reach out. See this? It would have been better if this step looked more like this step or this step. But you reached out with it here. So this is some braking action because now your foot is hitting the ground while it's moving forward. So it's stabbing braking action, right? You want to be more like down into the track or back into the track. So that's number 1. Number 2, just like Adams at the beginning, the first video that I showed on here, you're doing that same thing. I'm going to call it the Grant Holloway trail arm, but worse, where you're actually holding it awkwardly to the side and in the front. I just think that it just doesn't make any sense, okay, to be that asymmetrical. And that's probably not the right word. But anyway, okay, here's the other thing that I'm noticing, my third thing, and I'm going to stop there, is I think you're pulling your trail leg a bit underneath you versus around from the side. And when you watch it looks like you are staying nice and flat and low over that hurdle, but I think you're kind of cheating here. Because look how extremely, it's probably not good English, but how hard you're laying chest against your thigh. And you watch your head and your chest and it seems like you're not going up. But you are high over this hurdle, right? That's very high. So I think what's happening is you're jumping up, but you're throwing your torso down. So from the naked eye, it looks like you're staying low. But somebody like me who studies video every day, I mean, it jumps out at me like going, there's something funny going on here. And that's what it is. So the question is, why are you going so high? I don't know. It might be your trail leg. You might need to, I don't know. It's hard to say from this angle, but there's 3 things for you. Okay, last one of the day. And I've got an athlete who I coach is texting me her results. I'm trying to finish with this. Okay, so Yash, 11th grade, first year hurdling. This is not US. I don't know where it is. But he's new to the hundreds. Can't maintain speed after the first hurdle. So that's pretty extreme. Usually people are telling me, oh, I can do it for the first 2 or 3, but then I slow down. Okay. By the way, if anybody's watching what I'm doing here, I use this free software called Kinovea, Kinovea. It's really great. It's free for anybody to download on a PC. But one of the things that I can do here is where I want my video to start, that way next time I hit start, it always takes me to that place and I don't have to wait for the athlete to do all their pre-movement stuff. So anyway, let's figure out what's going on, Yash. Okay, so let's talk about the speed to the hurdle. Not bad, not bad, not bad. 4, 5, 6, 7, Okay. Definitely all of a sudden coming off of step 7, even on step 7, all of a sudden, if you notice this, you threw your leg out to get on your heel. So this tells me you're trying to get under control to gain a little, lose a little speed unintentionally. And then you do something very strange right here on step 8. I do like that you kind of raised your center of mass. I like that. But there's something unnatural about what you're doing with your arms, right? Your arms should be swinging all the way. And when you go into that last step and you lean into it, your lead arm goes forward and your trail arm goes back. And then when you reach your peak and you're coming down, then they should switch. But this is my theme for the day. Adams, Tegan, and Yash all do the same thing where you hold. No, you're not doing it. Forget it. But definitely some trail arm issues going here. So you did something funny by throwing your trail arm. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, but work on that. You're also too close to the hurdle. Okay? Because watch this. You are keeping your heel tucked in really nicely. By the way, your thigh doesn't need to go any higher than this, but it does. It goes way up, and it goes even higher right here. But you're still on the way up at the hurdle when your heel clears. And it shouldn't have been that way. Then you reach the peak of your jump right here, and it should have happened back here about a foot back. So I would practice taking off from about right here. In the US, I would say 6 inches and then maybe 12 inches. Start with 6. So whatever that works out for you, in however you do it, centimeters, go back a little bit. So you can hit the top here, come down versus hitting the top over here. That'll help keep some speed. So far, the answer to your problem is how do you stop slowing down? Number one, I would practice going over some really low hurdles to learn the rhythm of what this 8th step should feel like and then what your arms should do. Because there's just something funny about this last step with the leg and the arm. And then go over it from farther away, stay lower, get used to that feeling. But this looks good. This looks good. It's just too far forward. So now you're having to come up on the hurdle. Because ideally, from this point here, as you go over the hurdle, your lead leg should start going down. But yours is going up, up, and then it starts to go down. So that means you're too close. So back away. But this all looks good. In fact, this looks fantastic. This looks good. I would have liked to have seen your trail hand, the hand of your trail arm, higher at this point. But this is not bad. Your leg should not straighten out like this. It should come down into the track. But you do it, like I said, this here, this is like picture perfect. It's just too far forward. So work on those things, my friend, and I think that it will help you a lot. Okay? All right. Let's see if anybody left a question. Nikki says, hi, I have a question. Is my video going to be reviewed? Oh, I don't know, Nikki. Who are you? I get a lot of videos. I don't even see your name on the list of having sent me a video. Send me another one, and I'll tell you. So let me talk about that for a second. But let me go back here and see if there's any other questions. Melted sugar art. Really enjoy your videos. Thanks for your guidance. You bet. Okay, let me go address this issue. Okay, so let me turn my computer here. Wrong way. Come on. Okay, so here's the way it goes. Is I have a couple of free things that I offer on my website. One of them is a hurdle technique cheat sheet. I have a off-season hurdle training plan. I used to have a pre-season, which I'll put back later. But I also do these free analysis. Okay. But again, I only select 5. I get a whole lot more than that. People that really are serious about this and want to get better for sure, and they realize, hey, $49 is not a lot to get some expert coaching advice. Those people purchase what's called a virtual coaching session, okay? Which is what you see here today, but a lot more time spent devoted to you, your videos, and your questions. And then I get all these free requests. I mean, I'm not kidding. Sometimes I'll get 5 a day, and so I'm picking 5. And just so you'll know, I picked the 5 that are the best video quality for me to turn around and use those videos to make my YouTube videos or shorts that I put on social media from my marketing, things like that. So if you send me a video where the camera's moving all over the place, there's no way I'm going to choose that one. If you send me a video that's grainy, right, and I can't see detail in the way your body's moving, I'm not going to use that. If it's in a race and you're on the other side of all the other competitors and you're wanting me to, the person in the stands is doing you at lane 1 and there's 7 people between, I can't even tell who it is. There's no way I'm going to choose that video. But mostly the graininess. I need a good quality video. So if you want a better chance of me choosing your video, good quality. I like practice videos better than race videos, but I'll obviously still choose some race videos, but I prefer practice videos because I like to see different angles. My favorite angle is for the 110s or 100s. If the camera is sideways on hurdle 3 or 4 and it follows you from the starting block, so I can see you coming from the front, I can see you as you come up, and I can see you directly from the side as you go over that hurdle, that shows me a whole lot of things. That's my very favorite. Also, one directly on the front is also a good one. And then, yeah, those are the 2 main ones. So keep that in mind. But I just need to say, it's all great and all for me to do this for free and hope that you get selected. But if you're serious, you want to really get good, and you want to know how you could go next year, and I'm not exaggerating, you want to go and drop 1.5, 2 seconds off your hurdling time, depending on how fast or slow you are, this is worth $49. I mean, so why hope that I'm going to choose your video and do it in weeks when I can do it within 24 hours and a much better job? I mean, geez, I mean, it's a no-brainer. So keep that in mind. Let me see if there's any other questions. If not, I am done. Okay, so this is it for this week. If you want to be part of this, go to acemethodcoaching.com, but also check out all the other things I've got going on. I'm putting out a video tomorrow, just trying something new. where I predict who I think are going to get the medals at the Olympics coming up in a few weeks. That's it. And also know that when the Olympics do come out, I'm going to have it all ready to go. Whenever there's a finals race, by the next day, I want to have a video out where I break down that race, detail, and show you what went down. I mean, why'd they win, looking at steps, looking at technique, stuff like that. Stuff that I can see as somebody who just is obsessed with analysis and technique. So anyway, be on the lookout for those. Okay, if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, do it so you get notified of these things. All right, that's it. Coach Ace out. Have a good week.